So now when we look at our body paragraph, if you go to the outline says that your first body paragraph is looking at the article, okay? So every single body paragraph that you have, the best way to keep your essay flowing well is to start with a transition word. And if you look at the bottom of your outline, there are some great transition words. But since this is your first body paragraph, usually if you start with first of all or something like that, it's a good way to get going. So if you say first, then you need a topic sentence. Okay, your topic sentence is how we see it in the article. Okay, so first, Barbara Johns showed how she reached for the moon and accomplished big things. Let's say, how about this? First, it was shown that Barbara Johns showed how she reached for the moon and accomplished big things in the article. Imagine this was your school. Now, I can mention reaching for the moon again. I could give a little bit more explanation. She stood up for what was right. And then this would be a good place to have my textual evidence. I am going to include 2 pieces of textual evidence from the article. So you can do that by saying the author's last name. So you could say Canefield states, comma, and then here's my evidence, okay? And then I'm going to put the page number, 16. Avoid saying this shows. We've already gone over this before this year. You do not need to say this evidence shows. No, just what does it show? Clearly, she had a problem, or clearly there was a big problem with the way the schools were segregated. She stood up and gathered others to do the same. And then I'm going to include another piece of evidence. The text also says, and again, you could do a direct quote, you could do a paraphrase, but whatever you put, you make sure you cite it, okay? So this is Canefield, and we'll say that one's from page 19, okay? And I'm going to explain it a little bit more. So she reached for the moon by accomplishing huge tasks for society in the 1950s. Give more information, give more detail. And then what is that last sentence called? It is called, you sum it up. Remember how I always compare my paragraphs to like cheeseburgers? You don't want your bottom bun to be missing because you'll get your sweater all messy. So you need to sum it back up by revisiting your prompt. So therefore, Barbara Johns reached for the moon by blah, 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 and it is seen in, that's not the right scene, seen in the article.